what have these first 2 days been like for your unit, and what have these first 2 days been like for you?
I've been happy. We've, the biggest things we're coaching right now are effort and response, and I think our guys have the right approach. We want to run to the ball, we want to play violently, we want to communicate. We're doing those things, and I know we're going to coach the technique and the fundamentals on the tape, but I'm pretty happy with where we are as long as we continue to take steps forward.
Anybody stand out or any position group stand out so far in the first 2 days?
There's a couple of guys. Nobody right now off the top of my mind that I'm going to say out loud, because I got to watch this second practice. I got to get back and watch the tape. I don't want to make any immediate reactions based off what we saw, but I'm happy with the number of guys and where we're at. So I think we got some pieces we can work with.
How about how did the second play out? What do you guys like? And what he was.
Yeah, Zoran he's athletic. He's physical. We saw that on the tape when we were recruiting him. But he's also a student of the game. He's very, very intelligent. He doesn't like to make mistakes, which is one of the things we preach, is not to repeat the same mistakes. And that's, you see growth in him already. He's a mature guy that's played a lot of football, and I have high expectations for him. He's done a great job so far.
How about Josh?
Josh is a talent up front for us. He's a guy that can get after the passer. He creates an element up front that's difficult to deal with. He's strong. He can move his feet. I can't wait to see what he can do with full pads on in a live situation.
This coach, special teams, you coach linebackers, secondary players, with a defensive coordinator. How much does all of that experience help in this program?
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing with that is just learning to coach different positions within the scheme. And one of the, my foundations as special teams coordinator, which to me is just offense and defense. You're incorporating both, and I've been fortunate to coach almost every position on defense. So I think that, it just gives me an idea, a perspective of how guys are being coached within our scheme. Some of the things that they do well and not well. So I think right now, just, our position coaches do a great job. It just helps me know what's going on from room to room.
You mentioned the scheme. What are some of your tendencies as a defensive coordinator? What do you?
Well, I don't have too many years of tendencies right now, so I think I'm going to start to develop them a little bit. But we're just going to try to put the guys in the best situation. You know what I mean? If we're a better blitz team, we're going to blitz. If we're better in coverage, we'll cover. Still figuring out who we are, and that's going to be a huge part of our spring.
Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Joe and just, how you ended up here, the conversation that you guys had leading up to you accepting this position?
Yeah, Joe, Coach has been a mentor of mine going back to Maine in 2016. We knew each other prior, but I really started to deal with him in 16 and just continue to build a relationship and galvanize trust just by, doing the right things. And, he preaches recruiting and bringing in coaches that are the right people first. So we've developed that way, and he's just been a huge mentor of mine. And, when he accepted the job, I didn't make any assumptions. Of course, I wanted to come with him, and I'm just excited to be here with him and continue to grow.
Who are some guys that have separated themselves as leaders in these first couple of practices?
It's a number of guys right now. I could point at guys in different positions. Like in my safety room alone, it's hard to say because we got so many older guys that have played football and have led. So I think right now everybody's taking the ownership and we're leading in different ways. Certainly some guys are a little bit more vocal, but that's not always what leadership is, right? It's doing the right things when you're supposed to. So I think we got a number of guys who are kind of taking on that role, but nobody that I'm ready to just say that that's the leader of our defense or leaders of our defense. So,
seeing the offense really focus on the short game a lot today, was there an intentional way of deciding it today?
For us right now, it's just installing our stuff, and we're getting some difficult looks, which is really, really good for us because it's allowing us to go back to the tape and coach our guys on those things. So right now we're not in the scheming aspect of our defense. We might do a little bit of that in scrimmages, but we want to install the foundation of our defense and improve on it. And that's the biggest thing in the spring is we're not trying to win a spring practice. We want to get better and continue to take gradual steps.
I just seen the guys respond to our new staff. You guys great coaching them the way you want to practice, and obviously we kind of grasp that.
You see it in the way they carry themselves in meetings and on the field. I wasn't here, but I'm just really, really happy with the approach we've had. Again, we're coaching effort and response, the things that we can control, and our guys are doing a great job with that. Obviously, we haven't won or lost any games. We've only had 2 practices, so things are good. We don't really have a set depth chart, but the biggest thing with us, especially defensively, is dealing with adversity, and I think they've done a really good job with that. So I'm really happy with the way they've responded, with all the challenges and continuing to be coached moving forward.
How is it practicing your run defense against a guy like Rocco?
Well, right now it's a lot easier when he doesn't have pads on, I think. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to it. I always tell guys, the 12th player on defense is the running back. If we can sustain a run game, and he's a powerful back. I'm really, really excited to see what he can do in pads. So it'll be a huge challenge for us, but it's good on both sides, I think.
You mentioned the installation of the defense. How much are you throwing at them? How quickly or slowly do you install, everything in that?
We kind of agreed based on the installation to go as needed. We kind of put in our base coverages here in the first couple of days, and we're going to go back and evaluate where we're at. If it's too much right now, then we'll pull back if we're ready for more, so it's a little bit flexible and fluid, and just seeing what the guys can handle and seeing what we do well. So we have a plan, but plans don't always go as planned, I guess you would say. But, we got our bulk in right now, but we're kind of just sprinkling it into the practice.
How would you describe the intensity of your brand now?
Really happy with our intensity. Just you could see, just taking the field, running off the field, the way we're swarming into the ball, they're violently communicating. Again, in my experience, it's easier in the first couple of days of spring practice. It gets a little bit more difficult as time goes on, but right now I'm happy with where we're at and where we're going.
What's that mean, the 12th player on defense?
Just if we could sustain a run game and keep the defense off the field, that would be, to take the clock, and that'll help us. Anytime you can run the ball, that's good for the defense.
Yeah.